I'm the Dollar Sportsman. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am back with Josh, the pro. Thank you so much for doing the last video. We're on another one today. This is my FX Impact M3. And we're gonna go over a super cool upgrade that's specifically awesome for my kind of shooting, NRL 22. We'll explain why in just a second. All right, let's do it.
Alrighty.
All right, Josh, so what do we have going on?
So we're going to install the new Air Marksman Backbone rail, which is
wow.
sweet.
Man, look at that. So this is a lot thicker than the original FX rail on the top, right?
Yeah, this is to help prevent flex of anything across the backbone of the gun. That's going to keep everything in line, and it also incorporates the top rail for your optics.
Very cool.
There is a possibility of the factory mount moving. This eliminates everything. It keeps it 100% straight, and you don't have to worry about any flex or movement of the optics rail.
Now, one of the things that I notice about this is it looks a lot bigger, right, and heftier, but it's actually very light. And one of the advantages that I noticed off the bat when talking about this with Justin, who happened to walk in just now, is that it has all of these drilled openings, which takes a lot of the weight off of it. And you can see that all throughout. So they kept the weight low, but it has a high tensile strength in order to add to your effectiveness with your M3. So shall we install?
Yes, and there's one major feature that we've incorporated into this. It's a ball detent. It adds pressure to, if you hold this.
Yep. This is one of the coolest features for NRL 22 shooting in particular, and you'll see why here.
So when you run your action, if you go moving stage to stage, moving your gun around, the action falls closed, possible double load, and this prevents that.
So that little detent, any of you guys that build firearms, AR-15s, etc., you'll understand how detents work, and this is much the same way. So it's going to keep your bolt back. You open it, you don't have to worry about it, even if you're running and gunning, it'll keep it open, which is pretty sweet.
Yes, and if you're all about speed, you can actually remove the detent and just have it free floating like the factory, and then just put it back in if you need it.
Well, let's install this.
All right, let's start by taking the scope off, and then the optics rail, and break them free.
So this is an Athlon Midas tack. We've got an Athlon 20 MOA mount onto this, which is slick. I appreciate you mounting that, by the way. Josh is just doing all my work for me, man. I just can, you know, sit back here and relax.
Sit back and relax. Then we'll take out the 4mm in the front. Some of these can be very tight. You might have to put some muscle into it.
He's got the muscle.
I don't know about that. And these screws, all the screws we remove except for the cheek piece will not be reused.
Cool.
You get all new screws for the backbone. So.
Very cool. So if I've done a bunch of modifications previously to this, and I've stripped some of my screws out, that's kind of advantageous because
right.
I'm good to go again.
Yes.
Not ordering from you know, online to get new stuff.
Correct. And the reason you have to use new hardware in the back is it's considerably thicker, so you're going to want to, you have to replace all the bolts anyways, so we'll just supply you with all the top rail bolts.
Very cool.
Now that we have the optics rail off and the cheek piece off, we'll just remove all the bolts. There are 12 bolts here.
Cool.
Just remove them.
Nicely done.
Okay. So now let's set that aside.
Easy peasy, man. You make this look too easy.
I like to put all the bolts in first.
Okay.
Then there is one short one, which is in the middle. That will be on the left side of the action.
So we have the longer ones for the front, which you have right here. Shorter ones for the back.
Yep.
And then the shortest one goes in the middle.
In the middle, yep.
Awesome.
We'll just line everything up. All the bolts will drop in. I suggest to start from the middle. This just kind of lines everything. These two will make sure everything is in line.
That's a good pro tip.
Don't take anything down tight until all of them are started. This just prevents binding.
See, this is why we ask Josh to be on camera, because he pretty much knows everything about these, so, you know.
Not quite sure what to say about it.
I try to build up people, you know, do what I can.
So from here, we're gonna tighten down the center too. And we're just taking about down till they just touch. We're gonna torque everything here. You don't wanna go anything over 10 inch-pounds. You don't want to strip any of these bolts along here. So once everything's tightened, just barely finger tight, then we'll go through and torque them. So we've got the wrench set to 10 inch-pounds.
Okay.
So then you're gonna torque these two here, then come back, just like torquing your tires. Just keep moving around. Keeps everything aligned.
Makes sense.
Make sure you don't strip out anything. All right, now that's installed. Just make sure your action runs smooth.
Easy peasy, man. So now we've got the action going here. I'll show this to the camera. You'll notice when we bring it back, shake it, doesn't go anywhere now, which is fantastic. So when you're running and gunning in NRL 22, you're putting this on all sorts of blockades, and you've got the tank traps and everything, the ladders, etc., and you don't want that moving around for the accidental double feed. There you go. You're good to go.
Good to go.
Good to go. All right, let's get the scope back on here.
All right, we'll put the cheek piece back on.
Okay.
Which is still just 4 more bolts, which you're going to reuse these.
Awesome.
Again, you don't want to go over torque on these. Just take them down until they're snug. All right, that's on. Take our scope. We don't need the backbone or the optics rail now that everything's integrated. And that back up. There you go.
Boom. Just like that, man. When are these going to be available to the masses?
They should be available now.
Awesome. Now this is the 0 MOA version. There will be a 30 MOA version available soon. Now as for me, I already have 20 MOA in my scope mount. But you shoot 50 MOA total when you're shooting slugs, right?
Yes, trying to reach out there as far as we can. For normal NRL and even NRL-X, it's probably not needed, but it is nice to have. The nice thing with the 0 is that you can run, if you're really reaching out there, run a prism or some sort of forward-mounted optic device, or you're able to even put your night vision on there.
Like those Terex?
Yeah, the Charlie Terex, I believe they're called.
Charlie Terex.
Night Force has a Night Force prism that you can put on. There's a lot of options there now.
And if you guys will notice, we still have clearance for the scope. Clearance from the barrel. I mean, that's awesome.
And it doesn't add a lot of weight. It looks like it would, but there's really not much weight difference.
Yeah, that is
because of skeletonizing.
Awesome. Well, Josh, I'm excited to give this a go.
It's going to be a great product.
I think so too. It is available at UtahAirguns.com. You can check it out. There's a link in the description below. It is easy to put on, as you can see from this video, so you can give it a try. Thank you very much, man.
You're welcome.
Boom! I'm the Dollar Sportsman. Like, subscribe, all that jazz, you know. That's it. Right. You guys know the drill. Watch a massive wind gust come over that ridge. You can see it in the grass and knock my gun over. Yeah, that could have been a total end to my game at RMAC, Rocky Mountain Airgun Challenge. But thanks to the Air Marksman Backbone, everything still worked. I'm gonna confirm it right now. This is during the competition, taking some shots, and it was still on. Thank goodness for this thing.
It's okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, it left a big mark on it.
It's got character now.
Oh, man. I think, were you rolling on that?
Yeah.
I'm going to need to get that away from you.
Okay. Yes! You guys excited?
Yes. Excited.
Yeah! I guess it was. This is going to be a fun adventure.
Yeah.
Well done. That was awesome. Did you see that? Woo!
You can do this. Get out there.
Let's go do this.
Woo! He's so fired up. This guy. I love this guy.